Today, I am finally doing the impossible. I am turning my scraps into a quilt so special, it feels like it's moving. I'm transforming one of the oldest quilt patterns in history and giving it a sharp modern twist. Let's go! I'm hunting for color here. Every single color I can dig out of this messy pile is coming out to play. I love scrappy quilts because they do not ask for perfection, they just take a life of their own. Let's pick a color, any color really. We will start by cutting a 2-inch square and we build the block from there. Yes, this is a log cabin quilt block, but it is not the traditional one. This one's a little bit different and I have never seen it being made, so here's hoping it goes well. So far, this block looks like a traditional log cabin with 3 layers. Rather than making full blocks and cutting them down, I'm just adding 2 layers to each corner. For trimming, I line up my ruler from the center and cut. I want 11-inch blocks, so that helps. Folding the block in half really is the best way to make sure everything is in place. If you don't do this, things might get a little bit interesting, let's put it that way. However, as long as I've got enough wiggle room left, trimming is easy. And this is looking pretty awesome. Our first twisted log cabin all done and looking pretty. Okay, so now I need to make 15 more because I want 2 of each color. So red, pink, purple, dark blue, light blue, green, yellow, and orange. That will give me a 4x4 block quilt, and with 11 inches each, I will have a pretty good size of quilt by the time I'm done. But it does mean a little bit of work until it's ready to go. But then again, is it really work when you're having this much fun? Here's the thing, I love all things log cabin. Quarter log cabin, courthouse steps, traditional log cabin blocks, of course. I love them all. And this one kind of feels like a variation of all of them. A wild, free-flow variation, really. Plus, this one is made out of scraps, which I think only adds to its charm. Like I've said, I have seen a couple of versions of this block as I'm making it today, but I have never actually seen a pattern to any of them. I think my way of doing this will work. I have a gist of how I want to do it, and I'm feeling adventurous today. So that's either a very good sign or things are about to get really silly around here. If you happen to have a better method to this madness, please let me know. Also, a proper name to the block would be nice. I am calling it a twisted log cabin, but it's not really twisted, it's more like sideways. I've decided to split my blocks into colors, but I will say that if you mixed your colors, it will look even nicer, because having different contrasting colors for each part of your log cabin will allow them to stand out from each other, which will allow you to enjoy each fabric separately. And we all know that we do this because of the pretty fabrics, right? Another thing you may have noticed is that these log cabin blocks aren't straight in the least. First, I'm a wonky quilter. We all know that about me, and I am proud of that actually. It's funny how something that has always made me feel self-conscious suddenly becomes something to feel proud about once you find a group of people that accept you exactly the way you are. And that's what you did for me, and I am incredibly grateful for you. And before you know it, we are done. Let me show you what we've made. Before we puzzle, let me tell you when I'm planning for this quilt. I've been living here for a few years now, and while I'm mostly happy with the place, there's one room I just can't fix. It feels sad and cold, even though it has so much potential. So I'm thinking of a bright, colorful lap quilt and a matching colorful rug. Here's the thing, ClawLab, today's sponsor, has sent me a tufting kit. Remember that punch needle pillow I made a while back? Same idea, but with a tufting gun, so way faster. This kit comes with everything you need to get started. The frame, the yarn, the fabric, and even the backing for a perfect non-slip rug. The frame is super easy to set up. There aren't a ton of pieces to figure out, so I had everything ready in under 10 minutes. I am jumping head first onto this. No experiments beforehand. You get to see me try it out for the very first time. First, let's decide on the design I'm going to tuft. I briefly thought about doing wiggly wobbly shapes, but I don't think that would pair very well with a log cabin style. So I want straight lines. Well, as straight as a wonky quilter like myself can manage. If drawing isn't your strength, you can project your design onto the fabric and then trace it. Now this gun has different speeds. I imagine it's like a sewing machine. You start slow and you build your speed up as you gain confidence. Okay, here goes nothing. There's a little kick at first, but nothing too scary. It's really light, really quiet. You know, I could be here for a while without getting tired. This is fun, really fun, and relaxing too, just like quilting. There's a learning curve for sure, but not in the way you'd expect. This isn't hard to do at all, even if you've never tried it before. Most of the learning is just figuring out how to keep your yarn loose as you feed it in, or it can slip, and how to make lines in any direction except from top to bottom. And I love this frame. If you've ever tried punch needle before, you know how important tension is. If the canvas isn't tight enough, the whole project can go sideways pretty fast. With this frame, however, you don't have to stress about any of that because the bars keep the fabric evenly and firmly tensioned the entire time. Unlike traditional tufting guns, which are heavy and require a lot of skill, this one weighs about 1.2 pounds. It feels light on your hand, which immediately makes it less intimidating. I thought I'd have to do every line super close together and carefully feel out every little space, but that's not the case at all. This is exactly the kind of hobby I love. The really forgiving ones that hide all your sins. I am telling you, this may just be my brand new hobby. I already have this huge list of things I want to try next. I have a really sad colorless Van Gogh on my wall that's begging for a break, so I could easily replace that with a colorful tufted wall art. Next step is adding a layer of glue to the back of our rug. This makes sure the wool stays in place. And once that's dry, we add the anti-slip backing fabric. This also comes with the kit. To finish it off, I'm just trimming the excess wool. And you can absolutely use scissors, but I am using a hair clipper because it's quicker and it gives a really even finish. I got this idea from one of Claw Lab's tutorials on YouTube. They walk you through everything, showing exactly how to use the kit and start tufting. Perfect for beginners. And here it is, my very first tufted rug. If you love quilting, you are going to love tufting. It has the same quiet rhythm. It's soothing and deeply satisfying. If the new year has you thinking about new hobbies and DIY projects, tufting lets you be creative without being complicated. And Claw Lab's Tufting Kit H1 is the easiest tufting kit to get started. You can use my code for 17% off and get the same ready-to-use kit for your very first tufting project. The link is in the description so you can take a look. And now that we are done with our pretty, awesome, one-of-a-kind rug, we're finally ready to puzzle. There's not much to it. I'm not doing a wash or anything like that. I'm just making sure that the same colors won't be anywhere near each other. Time to sew real quick because today we are making a full-on quilt. We start with our rows as usual, first in pairs, then complete rows. Now, is it just me, or do you have like 1,000 hobbies as well? I bake, bread and pavlovas mostly, I paint, and now I do tufting. It's like I'm always looking out for my next hobby, even though I can barely find the time to do the ones I already have the skill and the supplies to make. I wonder if it's a creativity thing or a boredom thing. I just get so restless and so excited about trying new things. Okay, next we will need to join our rows while nesting our seams to make sure these hit the right spots every time. Oh, a couple of months ago I tried pottery and loved that as well, of course, even though it's not really something I'm thinking of doing at home. Tell me, what are your hobbies beyond quilting? I'd love to know and maybe try those as well. And before you know it, we are done. Okay, first things first, making our sandwich. You can use pins like I'm doing or a temporary spray adhesive, and then quilting. I am doing a free motion quilt, a wide pattern, and I'll be honest, it is the very first time I'm free motion quilting with this machine, so I'm kind of nervous. Ah, this is looking so gorgeous. Now I need to do some binding, and I'm keeping it simple with a white. You know, the thing about me and binding is I'm never entirely sure of how my mitered corners will look. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, so it's always exciting to see. And here it is, our colorful, scrappy, twisted log cabin quilt done and ready to shine. It goes perfectly with my new tufted rug too. What do you think? And if you'd like to give tufting a try, there's a link in the description with 17% off Clawlop's tufting kit. I absolutely love these. I hope you do too, and I will see you really soon. Bye bye!